Now that Trump has taken the oath of office again, we may be entering a time of unprecedented government transparency.
As a first step toward restoring transparency and accountability to government, we will also reverse the overclassification of government documents, and in the coming days, we are going to make public remaining records relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, his brother Robert Kennedy, as well as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and other topics of great public interest. It's all going to be released, Uncle Sam.
Other topics of great public interest, including, UFOs, something that he's spoken about several times in the past.
Will you help push the Pentagon to release more footage, which a lot of people claim is available?
Oh, yeah, sure, I'll do that. I would do that. I'd love to do that.
But it might be the people that Trump's picking for influential positions within his cabinet that will have the most influence on learning more about what the government knows about UFOs. Because they'll have the authorities needed to potentially address the overclassification issue and the B-1 redactions that plague the UFO disclosure effort. With accusations swirling that the Department of Defense is actively withholding information pertaining to UFO crash retrieval and reverse engineering programs from Congress, which is in violation of Article 1 of the U.S. Constitution, picking Hegseth to be the next Director of Defense is a potential big win for transparency because the UFO topic is on his radar and he's willing to ask the question that we all want to know the answer to.
Treat us like an adult here. You've seen the intel. It's January 15th in the year 2023. Are aliens real?
Pete's question was addressed to John Ratcliffe, who was the Director of National Intelligence during Trump's first administration, and who will become the Director of the CIA for this current administration, and who, in my opinion, has delivered the most jaw-dropping statements to the American people about what the government knows about UFOs, including,
but frankly, there are a lot more sightings than have been made public. Some of those have been declassified. When we talk about sightings, we're talking about objects that have been seen by Navy or Air Force pilots or have been picked up by satellite imagery that, frankly, engage in actions that are difficult to explain, that movements that are hard to replicate, that we don't have the technology for, or traveling at speeds that exceed the sound barrier without a sonic boom. So, in short, things that we are observing that are difficult to explain.
And when Ratcliffe served as the DNI, he was actively working behind the scenes to get more information of what the government knows about UFOs out to the American people.
I actually wanted to get this information out and declassified before I left office, but we weren't able to get it down into an unclassified format that we could talk about quickly enough.
But while the incoming Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, hasn't made a public statement about the UFO topic yet, I hold her in high regard and think she'll do the right thing for we, the people. And I have to assume that her and her predecessor, Ratcliffe, are going to have some very interesting and eye-opening conversations about the UFO topic. So I'm hoping that she takes the torch from Ratcliffe and runs with it. Next, Trump is considering appointing Kash Patel to be the new director of the FBI, someone who has been very vocal about the government's need to be more transparent with the public.
You need a 24/7 declassification office, whatever you want to call it. Transparency, truth, whatever, I don't care. Sits in the White House, reports directly to you, and you take incoming from the United States of America. I want JFK. I want the 9/11 files. I want this. I want that. All the FBI, and this is a tool, this is something we didn't cover. What the deep state uses the most to cover up their corruption is an illegal application of the classification system.
And while he's not an official member of the government, Don Jr. has been very vocal about his interest in the UFO topic and has even interviewed many of the big names in the UFO community and expressed a desire to get more information into the hands of the people. And I have to assume that Jr. is going to have influence on how his father addresses this subject.
Before you leave office, will you let us know if there's aliens? Because this is the only thing I really want to know. I want to know what's going on. Would you ever open up Roswell and let us know what's really going on there?
So many people ask me that question.
Lastly, Senator Marco Rubio is Trump's pick for Secretary of the State. Rubio has been one of the biggest voices in the UFO discussion for years now, and I don't expect him to change course now that he's transitioning into this new role.
There's a stigma on Capitol Hill. I mean, some of my colleagues are very interested in this topic and some kind of, giggle when you bring it up. But I don't think we can allow the stigma to keep us from having an answer to a very fundamental question.
What do you want us to do about this?
I want us to take it seriously and have a process to take it seriously. I want us to have a process to analyze the data every time it comes in, that there be a place where this is cataloged and constantly analyzed until we get some answers. Maybe it has a very simple answer. Maybe it doesn't.
So in closing, we may be witnessing in real time the start of a shift in government transparency with we the people that will allow us to have a better understanding of our place in the universe and what it means to be a human.